I'm talking to you on it right now. I love this phone. Oh, I gotta go. Matt's here. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Wow, is that the new Blueberry 5?
Yes, it is. I just got it today. I love this phone. It has everything. It even has a 24 megapixel camera that takes amazing stills and shoots in 1080 HD and breathtaking 3D. It has unlimited calling and unlimited texting to anywhere in Canada, the US, Mexico, England, China, Japan, Australia, Russia, Cuba, Zimbabwe, Barbados, and Tanzania.
Wow, Tanzania, that's cool.
And that's not all. The new Blueberry 5 comes fully loaded with an electric razor built right into it. To get rid of any unsightly stubble. See? Much better. And best of all, for security reasons, it comes with a new built-in, preloaded taser app.
Did you guys see my sandwich?
Personally, my favorite.
Sweet, can I see it?
I'll tell you what, Matt. I have to use the little girl's room before we go on the shoot, so I guess you can see it. But Matt, I have to tell you, if anything happens to this phone, this new phone that I love very, very much, I might get upset. In fact, I might get angry. And Matt, you won't like me when I'm angry. So enjoy, carefully.
Wow, the new Blueberry 5.
Hey, Matt. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to scare you. Man, is that the new Blueberry 5?
Uh-huh.
Man, it looks like you ruined your phone.
It's not my phone.
Well, whose phone is it?
It's Holly's.
Oh, it's Holly's.
Matt! Matt!
So, Matt, you replaced Holly's phone?
Yeah.
Matt, this better be my phone!
Do you think she'll notice?
For the love of all, I sure hope not.
Are you feeling down 'cause you got some pressure there?
Sometimes all you need is a breath of fresher air. So wash your face,
Put on your shoes,
turn off the TV. Hey, wait, what?
turn off the lights,
Walk out the door and say, go, 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 go away. What do you want to do today? Welcome to another exciting episode of The Locker Room here on Shaw TV. My name is Matt Carter.
And I am Holly Robinson, and we have lined up a very nice show for you today.
Absolutely. We are going climbing, and we are here at the Romper Room in Nanaimo, BC, an indoor wall climbing facility.
That's right. We are going to learn how to climb up kind of a mountain. It's kind of like a rock face mountain thing.
Exactly.
A wall.
And there may be a bit of a surprise later on,
Yeah.
going the opposite direction down such a place. All right, so let's head in to talk to Aaron, the owner-operator of the facility, and see what we're gonna get up to today.
Let's go.
The Romper Room is one of Canada's best indoor rock climbing centers. It's been around since 1996. A lot of people look at climbing and think it's just for kids. You know, my kid climbs trees, so we'll send him to the Romper Room. But the Romper Room is for everybody. You know, we have kids of all ages climbing here from 2 to 92. You know, the majority of our customers are in the 20 to 50-year-old category. So climbing can be something for everybody. That's the biggest misnomer about rock climbing, and we're really lucky to have a place like this to share it with people. Climbing changed my life when I was younger, and I'm really happy to share it with the people of Nanaimo. The first thing we're going to do today is learn how to put on the harness. This is our basic safety gear. This is what keeps us attached to the rock, keeps us from falling into outer space. Super important that we have it right up over top of your hips. That way, if for some reason you go flying upside down, you're not going to pop out of it. As much as climbing is fun, safety is of paramount importance. Our harness parts, let's look at our harness. This is called our belay loop.
Belay loop.
Very important to remember that, belay loop. So when we're climbing up the rock or we're rappelling down off the rock, any metal object like a carabiner or belay device is going to be clipped into here, okay? All right, this is a climbing rope, and what makes it special is it has a special amount of shock absorbing properties to it. So when we fall off, it's not just a sharp jar on our bodies.
When we fall off, perfect.
When we fall off, that's right. Falling is all part of it.
It's not the first time Holly's fallen for me.
So the knot we're going to tie is called a figure-8 knot.
When it comes to tying knots, Cub Scouts was a long, long time ago. So, I actually broke a rope once. I'm afraid not.
Oh yeah. Who's your daddy?
What? No way.
Now it's the other person's turn to learn how to hold onto that rope, and the term for that is belaying. Do you remember that word? Belaying. We have a belay loop. This is a belay device. And me, as the person who is holding onto the rope, is the belayer. Okay, so the rope going to the ceiling is the climber side. The rope going to the ground, coming out of my belay device, is the brake hand side of the rope. So no matter what, we never let go of the brake hand side of the rope.
Never let go.
Never.
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 Like Titanic in the end, you know, Jack. Never let go. I'll never let go, Jack.
So the way this belay device works is if I'm pulling in the slack and my climber falls, it's going to pull up. And as it pulls up, it locks onto the rope. So this is going to be the same and going to work exactly the same whether we're belaying somebody or whether we're rappelling ourselves off a cliff. The first thing we do is we pull down with our left hand and up with our right hand. That pulls slack through the belay device. Then we lock that down. We bring our other hand down, slide the right hand up. And then we just repeat that.
I would like it if Matt practiced a bit because, you know, if he's the belayer and I'm the climber, you know, you want the team to know what they're doing.
This is just a lot of a la belay, if you ask me.
See what I'm scared now.
We know Holly's going to be climbing quick. So you got to keep up with her.
I think we've got some good instruction here, so I think it shouldn't be a problem. You seem pretty foolproof, and we're pretty foolish here on the locker room, so I think it's ready to hit the wall here pretty quick.
Looking at the wall, you see all these colors, and I was curious what all the colors meant. We are going to be following the orange path, and if I use the orange rocks, then I'm going to be climbing a 5.6. And I didn't pick orange because it matched my nails. Actually, Aaron chose the orange path for us because it is the easiest one to start at, and we are beginners. We're going to start on the easy one.
Before you climb, Holly, you're going to say, on belay, Matt.
On belay.
And Matt, if you're ready, you're going to respond with, belay on, Holly.
Belay on.
Climbing.
Climb on.
So as she goes, pulling that slack. Pull, lock, grab, slide. Pull, lock. You gotta go quick, Matt. And if she's going too quick for you, tell her to slow down.
In terms of Holly's pace, you know, she might be, you know, careful, but no, she was just right up there, you know, teensy bitsy spider, walk up the spider stout or whatever it is. And yeah, so I was really falling behind in terms of the belaying.
You know, you kind of feel like a monkey or something climbing around. It's really fun. It reminds you when you were young and you would climb around a lot.
Holly was saying it's a kid sort of thing. There's a kid in all of us, right? Doesn't matter how old we are. You know, most of the people that climb in the gym are adults with a kid's heart, and I think Holly's got it.
So Holly gets to the top, and she yells, "Tension!"
Tension at the top.
And there certainly was a lot of tension at this point.
But I let go, trusted Matt, and it was a little bumpy.
Slowly let the slack out in the rope.
You're just kind of guiding it with that right hand.
Maybe a bit too slowly at first, a bit faster, a bit faster, a bit faster, and then I thought it'd be kind of funny if
He let me down to my tiptoes.
she didn't quite get down to the bottom.
Lots of slack, lots of slack.
A little more.
Pull that slack in, there we go.
Not quite on the ground. I am the anchor, and the reason we call it kind of the anchor is I'm anchored in. So if Matt falls or something, you would think maybe I would go flying off the ground, but this anchor will hold me down. So even if he falls, we'll be able to hold him up there good and sturdy. Climb on.
So pull, lock, grab, slide.
That was great, yeah, the climb up there is just a lot smoother actually than I expected it to be. I mean, at the room, they've got it really set up, again, for really natural for beginning climbers to come up there. And so, yeah, rocketed it pretty fast.
Definitely, it was really fast paced. At one point, I had to even tell Matt to slow down for a second as I kind of regrouped and found my hands again.
Lock it down. No, you gotta lock that brake hand down right away. That's the most important part, because if Matt's zooming up there super quick, it's in his best interest to slow down so that Holly can belay him safely.
Not the first guy Holly's driven up the wall, but I don't think I'll be the last either.
We're going up a level. We went from the 5.6, we're going for a 5.8 now.
It's a little bit more overhanging. The last climb was vertical, so more of their weight was on their legs. This time, more of their weight's gonna be on their arms, and it's gonna take a little bit more technique to figure out how to get between the holds than just straight ladder pulls.
They've also said they expect us to fall on this climb, so I'm gonna see if we can, Holly and I can try to prove them wrong. I think we got a chance.
I have a chance.
Holly has a chance to fall.
I think the hardest part will be when I'm actually up there remembering which ones are the blues and that, because when you're above the rock, you can't necessarily see the color of it. So sometimes I'm like, where am I putting my foot again? Because, you're cheating if you hit one of the other colors. So I want to just stick to the blues, not cheat.
Doesn't look like an easy climb at all. It's much more confusing than the relatively straightforward climb we did earlier.
It was actually really challenging. There was a few times where I was just hanging on by my arms.
Definitely creating some drama for sure. Her feet were popping off.
Oops.
The feet come flying.
The first time that happened, it was okay, but the second time I was like, oh, I don't know how much more strength I have. Like, it just takes so much of your body strength to get your arms to pull up.
Body parts going flying, but she kept herself on. She was determined.
I was hoping gravity might have a bigger effect, but she defeated it. Not too shabby.
Definitely more exhilarating, even though it's only 0.2 up. It seemed like a lot more.
That was great. Most people on their first climb don't go up that one without falling off, so I'm very impressed.
On belay.
Belay on.
And climb.
Climb on.
I feel good. I mean, I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to climb as fast as Holly did, but I think my chances are pretty good of making it up to the top. That was definitely, a step up from the first climb that we did. I kind of wanted to take the path less traveled, so.
I think he's cheating up there.
Problem solved.
Definitely Matt did use, I think, some of the other path, not just the blue path, which we talked about earlier.
I remember seeing Holly sort of did a shoot over to the right, so I thought I'd do that, and I guess I went a little bit early. What would you recommend from here?
Started freaking out a little bit, just going every which way. Part of the brain turned off, and it was just that mental thing going on where you just want survival. I could see the fear in his eyes. You get your left foot out. There you go.
And that could be why he got a little lost partway up and didn't know where to go, because he wasn't maybe following the path. Even on the cartoon shows, they teach you to follow the path.
The rope was there, Holly had him, it was all safe. It's just part of it, Some people pick it up super quick. Both hands in there and then you move over to the right. Come on, Matt, come on, fight it out.
So it's like stop, take a breath, find another space. Meanwhile, your arms are starting to shred like coleslaw while you're on there, so made a bit of a challenge. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can sort of see why, again, it's a great mix of working your body and working your brain, assuming you have a brain.
Sometimes it takes a few days or a week or a month to get into it and start to feel comfortable. So looked like he had a good time, he made it to the top. Come on.
He's so tall he could stand on the one rock and touch the rail, so I don't know if that should count.
It's not fair he's so tall, eh? Super impressed. Good job, Matt.
All right, tension.
Tension. Then when he had to come down, whoop, I went right off the ground.
Matt is a little bit heavier than Holly, and Holly got pulled right up off the ground. We had her anchored in, so she wasn't going anywhere, but she was sitting there hovering about 2 feet off the ground.
In my mind, I was thinking, oh, I think there's something wrong here. I don't think this is gonna work, but it did work.
Fully in control. Kind of funny. Everybody had a laugh. Still safe though.
I guess that's why they have these anchors, because not everybody that climbs together is gonna be the exact same weight and size, so.
You've learned how to belay. You've learned how to climb. We've learned how to use that belay device. So now we're gonna take it one step further. We're gonna launch ourselves over the side of a cliff. How does that sound?
I don't think I heard you right. Sorry. Again.
We're gonna launch ourselves over the side of a cliff. So we're gonna do a rappel. So before we get out into the great wilderness outside, we're gonna do a couple practice rappels in the gym to get you familiar with it, again, in a safe environment. So I'm gonna demonstrate how it all goes through first, show you how it happens, and then you guys are up.
Okay.
All right, and
Shall we-
down.
shall we-
Hopefully.
Throw us off the cliff.
All right, let's do it. So as I step off towards the edge, I'm gonna pull the rope in as tight as I can get, kind of squat down into my harness, the moment of truth. And you just step off. You just don't look down. You pretend there's nothing below you, but just nice flat ground. So I'm hanging here. I'm still holding firmly on this brake, but you see how the device itself is holding me there. I'm not going anywhere. When I want to go, I pull back the lever and I slowly feather. If I was to pull super hard, I would just drop. So we don't want to do that. We just pull nice and slow, and we keep our feet nice shoulder distance apart, kind of lean back so like you're sitting in an armchair. Just walk down the wall.
Your brain kind of is telling yourself, are you sure about this? Are you sure? But as Aaron says, don't look down, just step off and imagine that it's a nice close ground. Left foot go up.
Yep. I'm just gonna
So first kind of sit down.
Yeah, there you go. Just get comfortable hanging there before you start to lower yourself.
Okay.
Nice work. You're in control.
Rappel, rappel, throw down your hair. Oh no, wait, that's Rapunzel.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Rapunzel.
Yeah, the lower you keep it, the more control you'll have. Yep, there you go. You're rappelling.
And I guess we're ready to go on down the wall.
So just 2 fingers, and just slowly feather it.
The rappelling was way smoother, way more enjoyable than I was expecting. I thought it would be harder to control the speed at which I rappelled down at, but it actually was really nice and slow. The little device that we use, it helps go nice and slow. So really, it's a great way to learn how to rappel.
Really nicely in control. Smile on her face the whole way, so really, how bad can it be? Big thing about standing on the ledge there, the last thing going into my mind is, I think Holly did this faster, is gonna do it faster than me. A rope that goes down, goes on that side. All right, Holly, you ready, buddy? Beautiful. Here goes Evan. It's funny, you step off the end and you kind of do that quick look down as you sort of like your instincts tell you to do, and it's like, no, you gotta fight that off, just look forward, look at your rope, look at your belay device, and just calmly, coolly go down. Just, yeah, don't look at the drop. It's far away, the wall's pretty close. Trust in yourself.
Matt did it, he was fine, and I think we were both probably surprised at how easy the rappelling part was.
Success!
I think we're almost ready to go off some big cliffs here. When I first heard that it would be twice the height of the Romper room, my mind was not expecting this.
Yeah, when he first said 60 feet, I was stoked because that's like, 30 people. It's a normal classroom, pretty normal, but now we see it's a 60 feet drop.
I think, we proved that we are competent and we are ready to become even more rock climbers.
I think adequate was the word that Aaron used for us earlier. But yes, now we're here in a natural environment, high above the Nanaimo River.
Yes.
And, well, I know you said the show was going to be a cliffhanger, but I didn't think you meant it literally.
But maybe we should leave this right now on the cliff and go for a musical interlude with Derek Schmaltz.
Schmaltz.
Former 1980s pop star Derek Schmaltz is back. He's best known for his epic 10-minute love ballads and such radio hits as Girl, I Think You're Radical and I'm Quite a Guy, just like Magnum P.I. Today, his appeal is much more selective as he performs his songs his way without a shred of dignity. Derek Schmaltz, pop icon.
Different words have different meanings sometimes. Like in the 80s, when I was writing hit songs, they said, "Oh, Derek Schmaltz, you're so bad." But it really meant I was good. And then 30 years later, they said, "Oh, Derek Schmaltz, you're really, really bad." And it meant I was bad. This is a song about words that have different meanings. It's called You Said I Was Repelling. You and I were climbing up a cliff. That's when we got into a little tiff. I almost lost the rope in my carabiner. I don't believe you could have been any meaner. You said I was repelling as we were going down. You said I was repelling, and then we hit the ground. I was crying in my harness. I didn't know what to do. You stuck my heart into a crevice, and I don't know if I'll pull through. You said I was repelling as we were going down. You said I was repelling, and I just hit rock bottom now.
Derek Schmaltz, pop icon.
My thoughts currently are probably not fit for public television. It's a pretty pretty big drop.
A little bit higher up than I thought we would be. And all the jagged rocks below and the rushing river, below definitely puts in a little bit of a fear factor.
It's not just how far it is down, but again, it's sort of the rock face, right? It's not smooth, no place to put your hands on. It's nature. It's unforgiving. It's Canada.
Part of the fun is the rush of it, the adrenaline of it, the fact that, it is risky. We are risking our lives today, and we like doing it.
I do want to point out at this point that the two trees we're connected to, most of the branches are dead, so a little bit nervous about that.
When I saw that we were getting geared up, I noticed that my palms were getting all sweaty, and I was feeling nervous. That's kind of how I tell, is, like if you break out in a little sweat, you're a little nervous. Yes, it does feel a little bit awkward when we're standing, and I'm sure maybe over the edge might be a little less awkward, but it's a little scary.
You get there and it's kind of the point of no return. And the thing about walking to the edge, I think, is as much as nerves, is that, when you're not used to something, you're thinking about it instead of just doing it.
Your mind automatically is questioning the gear that you have tied to you. The hardest part was just getting over that edge, that beginning of the edge. I don't know Matt so well that I know his facial expressions, but I know him kind of well enough that I think he was a little uncomfortable at that moment of the edge, because he had this look on his face. I kind of thought he almost looked like a scared little boy or something.
Why would anything scare me?
But I kind of got a chuckle out of it because I think, haha, you're a little scared and I know it, haha.
I love chicken.
You can chicken out if you want.
Chicken's really tasty. Holly's making chicken noises.
That's not very helpful.
When has all ever been helpful?
It's just a character. Really, I'm
She's trying to rope me into something, I think. There's sort of a lot of process as you're getting toward the edge. And actually, to be honest, once you get to the edge and make those first couple steps off, it's like, all right, here we go. No stopping this now.
So many people just hesitate at the edge and don't even do it. I've seen it many, many times.
I kind of tried to calm myself down and just kept my weight balanced. You want your feet shoulder width apart, and you just slowly use your two fingers to let the rope out, just very slowly, holding with your brake hand down by your hip.
Basically, with the first couple steps, you're a little bit nervous heading down. You're still getting used to how letting out the tension of the rope and how fast you go. And there was a point where I stumbled on a bit of a ridge, and I was like, oh no.
this is really fun. I'm just not gonna look down. Like Aaron says, don't look down. Just keep yourself in a 6-foot kind of bubble and focus on what you're doing right there ahead of you.
If there were any rocks or bushes or shrubs or spikes or humans or anything down below, I couldn't tell you. I just didn't look down. I'm just like, no, look straight forward. And then I realized that you kind of need to look at your feet to see exactly where you're going.
It took a little bit before I did feel comfortable and confident on hanging off of the edge like that. Maybe about 5 feet down or 10 feet down from the top, I think is when I really started to relax.
There was 2 points during the descent where the rope was getting a little bit caught up in the belay. And so when I moved the rope to get down away from the belay, it basically let go a bunch of tension. And so, whoop, I started falling down a bit faster than I was ready for. But again, you just let loose the lever and you stabilize yourself. Have a bit of a chuckle, check your shorts, and you're all good to go.
Rappelling out here, you have a lot more going in your mind. For some reason, I felt safer when I was indoors. Here, you feel like you could fall, and if you fell, there's some jagged rocks, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's a lot different than like the gravel down below at the Romper Room. Looks just a little more inviting than the jagged rocks and the rushing rapids.
I must admit, sort of my first hope or impression of how the rappelling might work is sort of like the old SWAT guys from the movie. Where you're sort of bound down the hill and you're letting your rope go.
I kind of thought to myself, maybe I can even push myself off a little, like you see them do. You know, I think that takes a lot more practice. So I just kind of slowly, steady, went down the rock.
Especially for your first time, it's much slower, much more measured. But I think with a few more times experience under the belt, yeah, you might be able to bound down a bit more quickly down the hill, which I think would be pretty sweet.
You know, the experience of rappelling off of the side of a cliff when you've never done it before, definitely your brain, it starts sending you fears saying, don't do this, this is not safe, don't go over a cliff. But if you just kind of push that aside, you talk yourself through it, you know what, it is so enjoyable, so relaxing.
It's one of those things where, unlike running or basketball or something that normal humans can do, you can't normally run down the side of a cliff. And so when you get down there and you have the acceleration feeling, wow, I did something that, again, as humans we're not supposed to do, it gives you a really great feeling of accomplishment. So I was pretty proud, pretty stoked. And done. Woo!
The rappelling down, I honestly felt really almost empowered when I reached the bottom. I felt like, yeah, I could do Everest next. This is maybe my calling. I'm good at this. I just rappelled down, and it was actually a really awesome, good feeling. Like, yes, I did it. Woo! I did it. Okay, Matt, we survived another episode.
Woo, absolutely. Whether inside the Romper Room or out here at the cliffs, we harnessed our energy and whether got up the wall or got down the cliff, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. Yeah, and you know what? They start kids, they suggest about 6 years old, but Aaron was saying he had his kids climbing since 2 years old. So it's really for anybody of any age, and it's such a great way to get exercise. You can check out the Romper Room. We got to rappel, which is kind of a special treat for us. You might not get to do that package, but they've got a lot of really fun kind of packages that you can do, learn yourself how to climb.
Absolutely, yeah, and big thanks to Aaron, of course, for helping us out and all the good folks he helps out at the Romper Room. Contact them for all of their programs. And again, if you have any show ideas or suggestions for us, do contact us here at the Locker Room, whether by email or give us a call or drop by the studio, drop by Holly's house for some chicken wings.
I make really good chicken wings, it's true.
Teriyaki, awesome stuff.
My aunt is a little better, but I'm a protege. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's us. All right, well, thank you so much. Once again, from the Locker Room, my name is Matt Carter.
And I'm Holly Robinson.
We'll see you
Tune in next time.
Next time.